Hey, what's going on, guys? Porter here. Today, I got a good one for you. They did a huge nerf to the Cold War weapons, particularly the assault rifles, just because they're moving so fast and strafing so fast. They nerfed the movement speed of those and the attachments. So, we're going to take a look at the patch notes here in a second, but I also later on in the video, I did some testings before the nerf, and it'll show how fast the Cold War weapons really were and why they needed nerfed. But other than that, I also did an Excel spreadsheet to kind of have a nice layout and show you the numbers stacked up to the Cold War weapons. And I picked out a few Modern Warfare weapons, and you'll see how superior the Cold War weapons were before the nerf. But other than that, stick around for the rest of the video. And if you find this video helpful in any way or entertaining, definitely hit that like and subscribe button. But let's go and check it out. Alright guys, here's the patch notes that they rolled out today. I'm basically going to kind of skim through it except for the movement speed segments. That's one where I really hammer home. So if you want to take a good detailed look at this, just type in Warzone patch notes, or I'll leave a link down in the description below. But let's go ahead and kind of skim through here until we get the movement speed stuff. So they changed the ground loot a little bit. They did some bug fixes. They did some weapon balancing, so that's a big one if you want to take a look at that. So here's the FAR. Here's the first movement speed that they changed. So the base gun, base ADS move speed decreased by 7%. So it's slowed down the FAR a little bit. And then down here, they did some attachment balancing. But as far as the stocks, that was the big problem there. This is what they nerfed significantly. So they nerfed it for the assault rifles, light machine guns, shotguns, and sniper rifles. They decreased significantly. ADS firing speed multiplier decreased by 75%. That is a lot. ADS move speed multiplier decreased by 10%. So they obviously slowed them down significantly. And then right below that, they slowed down the SMGs as well with the Raider stock and the Skeleton stock, but not as much for the top one here, 50%, which is still quite a bit, but not as much as the assault rifles, LMGs, shotguns, and snipers. So they also nerfed the other stocks as well, the SAS combat, spits down stock, and the tactical stocks. They slowed them down as well. But that was a huge problem with the Cold War weapons. They were just so fast. Movement speed, strafing, they needed some type of nerf for rebalancing, and they did that. I think they did a great job. That's definitely bring them down a peg, and they should be more on par with Modern Warfare weapons. And that'll also bring out more of the close range meta as well. I mean, it'll bring the SMGs and shotguns as their secondaries, or if you want to go sniper support. So it'll definitely get rid of people using the assault rifles as their secondaries. That was definitely a huge problem there because the assault rifles were just as fast as the SMGs, if not faster, and they shoot further. So it's kind of like, why not use the assault rifles as your secondary? So that should fix all that. So we should definitely see some big loadout changes. Alright, so let's talk about the testing portion now. This was recorded in 60 frames per second in OBS, so of course it would be a little bit more accurate if there were more frames, but still 60 frames per second, it's going to be pretty accurate for the most part, maybe just milliseconds off. Other than that, I did do it on controller as well, so there may be just barely some discrepancies just because I may have been barely off on the strafing exactly in a straight line or walking exactly in a straight line, but I did it multiple times to get as straight as possible. And also what I did, I started a timer as soon as the frame started walking, and as soon as the frame hit the wall, I stopped it exactly. So I did it frame by frame. So with all that being said, what I did here, I did two different rounds. So the first round I did no attachments, and the second round I had attachments on. So for the first round, what I did, I picked two Cold War weapons. I picked the QBZ assault rifle and the FARA, and then I wanted to compare the difference between the two. So I picked the Modern Warfare guns. I picked the AMAX, the M4A1, and the MP7 as well. So what I did some testing with walking speed, running speed, and strafing speed. And with the Cold War weapons, I did strafing speed while firing as well. The reason I did it just with the Cold War weapons only is because there's an attachment that makes the Cold War weapons strafe even faster while firing. That's one of the attachments that kind of makes the Cold War weapons overpowered because it makes it even faster while strafing, which doesn't quite make sense. You'd think if you're firing a gun while strafing, you'd either do the same speed or be slower. So keep an eye out for that. And then in the second round, I put attachments on, like I mentioned earlier. So with the Cold War weapons, I did two sets of attachments. One, you'll see the attachments up there, but all I did was for the Cold War guns, I did with the bruiser grip on, and then the other attachments, and then I swapped out the bruiser grip and put the ultra light barrel on instead. So what I found is with the bruiser grip, the Cold War weapons walk faster, and with the ultralight barrel, they strafe faster. So you kind of got to pick which one you'd rather have better movement speed or better strafing speed. So with the Modern Warfare guns, you may see that the attachments are definitely impractical, but they're supposed to be because I just went through for those three weapons. I wanted to pick only the attachments that made the movement speed faster, and that was it. So like I said, the attachments are impractical. For instance, the AMAX, you'll see that I picked the intruder barrel, so that's just the quicker barrel. It made the movement speed faster. The 10-round magazine, that made it faster, and the no stock, that made it faster as well. So that's what I did. I just went through and only picked the attachment that made it faster because I wanted to see if they could even get close to the Cold War weapons with just those movement speed attachments on. So we'll see that in the Excel spreadsheet. We'll see a nice good layout, and we'll see what the fastest attachments are and the fastest guns are with attachments and with no attachments as well. So go and watch the rest of this, and then we'll get to the Excel spreadsheet.
Hostile dropping into the area. Watch the skies.
Cancel that. Cancel that. Never mind. Never mind. That. Cancel that. Never mind.
All right, let's go and take a look at my Excel spreadsheet here. So on the far left here, I have no attachments. In the second column, I have attachments on. And as you can see, I did walking at 45 meters, running at 45 meters, strafing at 20 meters, and then with attachments on for the Cold War guns, I did strafing and shooting at 20 meters because there's an attachment that makes it even faster strafing while shooting, which kind of makes the guns broken a little bit, but we'll talk about that more here in a minute. So that's kind of the breakdown right there. Then on the far right here, I did an attachment legend, and like I mentioned earlier, I did two different sets for the Cold War weapons. I did the bruiser grip, and then I swapped that out and put the ultralight barrel on, and then the rest of the attachments are the same. And then for the Modern Warfare weapons, I just labeled them fast because I tried to kit them as fast as possible, and most of the attachments are impractical. You're not just going to put only these attachments on, and that's it. And as you can see, for like the AMAX and the M4A1, I mean, you want to kit them for medium to long range, and you just can't have those attachments on. So just kind of keep in mind that these attachments are making it faster, but as soon as you put on a longer barrel that helps with your bullet velocity, your range, and your recoil, that's going to slow down your movement speed. You take off the no stock, and that's going to hurt your movement speed. You put on a 50 and 60 round mag, that's going to hurt your movement speed. So just keep that in mind when we get to the attachment section, that these guns are going to be significantly slower once you take these attachments on and start putting on the slower attachments that help with range. Okay. So let's talk about the no attachments. So the guns don't stick out too much except for the QBZ with the walking and running, but they wanted to make this gun faster. I don't know if they wanted to make it that fast, but with no attachments, the QBZ is superior with the walking and the running. So they gave it a pretty nice buff there for Season 3. With the strafing, the MP7 is the superior gun, which it should be. It's a SMG. It should be fastest strafing, and you think it would be the fastest while walking and running. But nothing too crazy there. But when things start getting a little more insane is when you start putting attachments on. The Cold War guns speed up significantly, and you can definitely tell a difference there. But the QBZ is superior in every single category pretty much, depending on which attachment you put on. With the Bruiser Grip, you're going to have a faster walking and running speed than if you put the ultralight barrel on. You're going to be faster strafing. So depending on which attachments, the QBZ is going to be superior in every single category. And the only reason why the Modern Warfare guns are keeping up is, like I said, I kit them fast, but that's just impractical. As soon as you put the other attachments on, they're going to be a lot slower. So that's the only reason why they're keeping up. So as you can tell, the Cold War weapons are definitely superior in speed, movement speed, and strafing speed. So feel free to kind of stop the video and kind of really look this over if you want. But I haven't even got down here yet to the strafing and shooting. This is when things get really crazy, because the attachment, the Raider stock, and the Skeletal stock, it's for the assault rifles for the Cold War guns. It's the very last stock. What it does, it has a pro on it for when you're shooting, your ADS shooting and your strafing, your speed increases even more. So let's take a look at that real fast. So for the strafing 20 meters for the QBZ ultralight barrel, it's 6.1 seconds. And then when you're strafing the 20 meters while firing and strafing, it cuts it down almost 2 seconds. It's a 4.21. And across the board, it's significantly faster. So like I said, just go ahead and pause the video if need be and just look over the different attachments and different speeds there. And hopefully this information helps you out. Alright guys, that pretty much sums up the video on the Nerfs and showing you how fast the Cold War assault rifles were before the Nerf. But other than that, make sure to port her up guys, and I'll catch you in the next one. See ya.